Hello, my name is Danni Ebanks-Ingram, also known as Zazu, also known as Zaz. Welcome to 100 Stories Deep. Today I'm going to be reading Terrible by Yrsa Daley-Ward. And I've chosen this book because it's so poetic and it kind of reminds me how layered life is. You know, it's kind of got these really beautiful bits about love, it's got these bits about pain, and then it's got all this like in the middle. And it also makes me kind of sometimes feel at ease that everyone else is kind of experiencing the kind of ebbs and flows of life. And I read it in one night when I first got it. It was gifted to me by a friend. So, I'm really happy to be sharing it with you today. I'm going to start from the prologue. My little brother and I saw a unicorn in the garden in the late 90s. I'm telling you, neither one of us made it up. It was as real as anything. Sometimes when the world around us grew indistinct, when facts would blur into less certain truths and frightening things looked set to occur, the two of us could see clearly into the fourth dimension. So when Linford James was on a ladder at midnight, banging on the bedroom windows, shouting at Mom, and later, when the colour in his throat deepened and they were nose to nose, neither one of them spotted the unicorn. Adults went about their lives missing beauty all the time. Little Rue was 6. I was 10. The unicorn strode a couple of majestic laps of the garden before vanishing completely into the rosebush. The fourth dimension was our only explanation for this. We weren't dreaming. That night, Mom called the police. The next evening, Linford was sleeping in her bed again, snoring the walls down in his frightening manner. The unicorn wasn't the only strange thing. Living up in Chorley, up in the north, we were close to the sky, more than most. What luck! Little Rue often saw things written in the stars. Signs, facts, and other things. I'm telling you. He knew why adults said the things they said, and why they didn't mean the things they said. And even less what they did. Sometimes it wasn't answers that he found, but entirely perfect questions. A genius, my little brother. Marcia Daley-Ward, aka Mom, had a slim waist in the very beginning, soft hair, a gorgeous smile, pearly arches, those teeth, shining church doors. Marcia had smiling eyes, loose hips, could dance as well as anyone on television, lived with her grandparents in Kingston, Jamaica, and she was oh so kind, had some art about her. When told to go into the woods to choose a branch with which her father would beat her little brother for some tiny offence, chose a weak branch that came apart in her grandfather's hands, and earned her a beating too. Marcia was 14 and still skinny when she flew over to England, alone and terrified, with a baby in her belly. The boyfriend at the time was not the baby's dad, but none of that mattered because everything was about to change. She'd been sent for, finally, by her mother, and would be as far away from all these men as God would allow. She trembled when stepping off the plane. She was about to see her parents for the first time in years. How would she tell them? How would she explain? Marcia is 16 with screaming baby Samson in the northwest of England. What a mess. And he's only getting bigger. A real-life mini-man, the sum of several fears. Growing and growing, faster than she could handle. She curses the Lord above, Marcia's parents step in, especially when little Samson rides his small tricycle all the way to Grandma's just to get away from Marcia and her mood swings. They raise him like a son, never mind a grandson. He even calls them Mom and Dad. Leaves Marcia's title blank. Alone, Marcia trains to be a nurse. So soon, Marcia, the student nurse, is 26. The man she loves is a dark, beautiful scholar with some height to him and some education, and a wife and family in Nigeria. Guinness is his drink. He'll be the last one to leave the pub, the last one home. And most, every night, he turns towards her with those irresistible, glazed eyes, black shining. So she can't stay angry, even if she tries. But his other home calls, and the academic year ends, and their time will soon be up. He knows, and she knows, that he will not stay. But they make a child anyway. Yrsa, she says. Yrsa. I like the sound of that. Chapter 1. A. Read to me, Mummy would say. And boy, she and I read. We read our lives out, right from the very beginning. Hot, thick worlds with ladybirds and puffins on their spines. Watery, cool, mountainous, whole wide worlds. Why didn't anyone help the little red hen make food? Or why was the cat so naughty? And Mummy would point at the picture of the cat who wouldn't behave, the angry, frowning cat sitting, arms folded, in the corner. It's because he needs love, she would say. It's only because he's frightened. Why did the lion scream over my dead body when someone tries to give away his comb? Why did he bellow, frightening the entire jungle? It's because he needs things, she would say. The lion is lonely and vain. Mummy was soft, warm milk soft, and everything written in our paper world made hot, small sense. B. She lifts me up on the kitchen counter. The child is so gifted. She's reading already. Well, hear for yourself. And way before school. Yes, quite. Kids can do anything, you know. It's all in the teaching them early. Just look and see how easily she forms the words. She smiles at me. Her eyes like honey, bronze shining. You're my supernova, she says. My thrilling, bright explosion. Marcia is 30. Loves Linford, but feels bereaved of something. A friend. Sonny is his name. Stays overnight, again. And when her little girl comes to the door, she ushers her out, quickly. Go back to bed, she says. See you in the morning, baby girl. I love you. Then she lies back, a hand on her stomach, wondering what time it will be this dark morning when Sonny the friend will make his excuses and disappear off into town. Somewhere inside her, little Rue is beginning, and nobody knows yet but God. A red home. We moved house. Linford is Mommy's boyfriend, and we are staying at his place now. It's 2 up and 2 down in Warrington. Linford's house is under construction, but getting there. At first, it's exciting, moving into this half-built red brick house with red floors, an almost house. A house nearly on the corner of the street. The kitchen floor tiles bother me because they're all scratched and uneven, and I think there might be germs in there. I have a baby brother these days. I call him Little Roo because he's what older people call hyperactive and likes to skip, hop around, kangaroo style. Linford is a travelling salesman, and sometimes he has to go away for 2 to 3 days, while Mum is still working nights at the hospital, so we have this babysitter called Bev. Bev the babysitter smells of Parma violets and has yellow wavy hair and long nails and lots of freckles, and talks a lot on the phone at night. When I'm in bed, I can hear her cackling up through the flooring. My big brother Samson is away, fighting in the army. I miss him holding my hand and walking me to school. I love my little brother, but he's too small to know how to do things, and he cries a lot. Samson had to get away, he said. He's sorry to leave, but he can't stand that guy Linford. And he had to get away. Mum tells all this to Bev, the babysitter, while they're drinking tea in the morning. And Bev tuts and sucks on a cigarette and calls him a typical teenager. How old is he? 17, 18? They're all rotten at that age, she says. And Mum, still in her blue and white nurse's uniform, looks down at her tea and says quietly, he isn't rotten. They just don't see eye to eye. And Bev shakes her head and says, the army isn't the thing though, is it? Just teaches them to be violent, I think. Ruins them more, I say. And Mum gives Bev £25 and slowly gets to her feet, holding her head, and says, well, Beverly, I'd better be getting back to bed. Thank you. And Beverly nods and puts on her coat. I'm only 7 years old and already getting round in the wrong places. The swelling of my little breasts are showing through my clothes, growing into small protruding points. So very fast, says Mom, getting nervous. She works nights at the local hospital and frets, and tells me to wear big t-shirts over my 90s, especially the long blue silky one, which is so low cut that it needs 3 safety pins. Remember, Linford is not your dad, she says. Wear my orange gown at all times at night now, the one with the flowers. Be mindful. What is mindful? It means use your head. You're growing into something. All little girls grow and change, and look, it is what it is. It's true. I feel something different, something new, something uncomfortable. Aware of my largeness for my age and the things I have growing on my front, and the one who is called Dad, but is not Dad. Dad is something that I didn't know that I had or needed. Who is my dad then? I asked one day. He's Nigerian. He's from Nigeria, Mom states proudly, as though that answers the question. Handsome as anything, and he's amazing. I still love him. I do. And he's a prince, you know. Royalty. You have royalty running in your blood. We write to each other, you know. Do you want to see what he looks like? I do. Mum gets out a photograph from a large envelope marked taxes in the bedside drawer. The amazing Nigerian has a round, smiling face and smooth, dark skin. much darker than Linford and my grandparents. He's wearing a square cap and gown. Mum says it's his graduation outfit. Says he's the smartest man she knows. The one, she says, looking off into the distance. God, you look just like him, you know. I don't. He's a grown-up, he's a stranger, he's some man in a cap and gown. Contradictions and info. Some facts are lies. That's the truth of it. I still have to call Linford Dad, but my real dad is a university lecturer in Nigeria who reads lots of books. Mum says that I'm an African, which sounds pretty good, but Grandad says Africans are wicked and sold us into slavery. Samson is gone fighting, but for a good reason. Soldiers die sometimes, but it won't happen to Samson because we say our prayers at bedtime. There might be an issue with Linford, Mum says. What is an issue? An issue is a thing. It's not that he's not good, it's just that he has no patience. It's just that he growls a lot. The lion is quite lonely. The cat, he just feels bad. He needs love and is frightened, and we must understand. Love is a string. Mum loves me and little Roo. Marcia loves Linford. I don't know who Linford loves. Marcia says she has a lovely little girl with a smile and eyes that are going to break the men apart. Marcia thinks her child will be a beautiful thing, just like your dad, she says. I loved him, but he has a wife and responsibilities. Mom tells me my African name. Dankies, she says. Dankies Bikuk. Dankies means at last an end to terrible things. The blue nightdress is coming apart. I wear the orange robe as I've been instructed, but one day Mum says that I'm moving out. She and little Roo are staying at Linford's, but I have to go. I have to be somewhere else for a while. It's better that way. I'm going to live miles away at Grandma and Granddad's, where I will have to eat a lot of rice and peas and go to bed early and go to church all the time, and everyone else will stay in Warrington, eating KFC and having fun. It's only 4 years, she says, till big school, and 4 years travels fast. Marcia says, I need to work nights and I need not to worry. Mum says it'll just be a matter of 4 small years over at Grandma's. Marcia says it'll be over before you know it, little one. There is something starting to go wrong. I don't know what it is, only that, according to Marcia, my nightdress is a wrong thing. Dark blue satin, a long, wrong thing. And the red house is dangerous. Or I am dangerous. Or we are dangerous at the same time. We are dangerous to each other. My body is too big to stay at home. Body as trap. Body as trapdoor to a haunted, unreal place. Linford as almost bad thing, but not quite. Linford is a halving. Sometimes frightening, sometimes fun, sometimes he takes us for ice cream, and sometimes he roars when we don't eat all of our mountains of rice, fish, dead animals, and moats of rivers of gravy and stew. Dinner can be an entire kingdom. Sometimes he shouts, I will smack you people, eat the food, no. and he leaves us in the kitchen with the horrible red floor, with the scratches and countryside of potato and yam. Sometimes he gives us 50p pieces that shine, and sometimes he buys a soda for ice cream and we make floats. Sometimes he does this, sometimes he does that. The grand chapter. The seventh day. The meaning of life. Grandma and Grandad are devout Seventh-day Adventists. They love Jesus and God, who are actually nearly the same person and all-seeing and powerful and form a trinity with the Holy Spirit. Nothing is more important than Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit. Anyone who does not know that will be destroyed, thus saith the Bible. Anyone who does not know that will go straight to hell, where they'll be all wailing in pain and disaster. In this house, we serve God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. We do not eat shellfish, we do not eat swine, in any of its cunning disguises. The pig is an unclean meat. We do not drink Coca-Cola or tea or coffee because of caffeine, which is drugs. Or say bless you when someone sneezes, because that is blasphemy and exactly like taking the Lord's name in vain. There is no jewelry to be worn. We do not adorn ourselves. Pride. If you are black, i.e. not blessed with good long hair, you can get a wig or a perm. They're necessary, thus allowed. Acceptable pride. We all know of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, and we go to church all day, every single Saturday, from sun up till sunset. Saturday is the seventh day, but the people in this country who are definitely not Christians lie and make us think it's Sunday. We are the only true keepers of Sabbath, and everyone else going to church on Sunday is committing sin and is more than likely going to hell. Jewish people go to church on Saturdays too, but they are sinners in lots of other ways, and they also killed Jesus. Grandma and Grandad have been in this country for years, retaining their Jamaican customs, ideals and accents. They call each other Mummy and Daddy. The house is organised and floral with decorative upholstery. Lace tablecloths, net curtains, plastic-coated pictures of Jesus, glass spheres with marble-like patterns in them, plaques inscribed with Bible verses, decorative plates, artificial flowers, and china figurines of beautiful white ladies in gowns with cups of tea, all of which are displayed in glass cases. A freestanding one in the dining room and a smaller one in the front room, which is off limits. For the front room is where the pastor might sit, or salespeople, or the insurance man, important people. There you might find the bookcase, the expensive floral sofa, the illustrated children's Bible, the gramophone, although it hasn't worked for years, framed photographs of my aunties, uncles, cousins when they were young, the good plates and the good glasses painted with brightly coloured birds and flowers, reserved for Christmas, or for church people who come to dinner. The back room is our living room, where we eat, sit and watch television. We eat out of the yellow bowls and off blue and white willowed pattern crockery. Above our dinner table is a large painted impression of Christ and the Last Supper, next to a tall golden clock. God is always watching, always. He is the silent listener to every conversation, says Grandma. Which is why we have a calendar telling us the exact time of sunset each Friday, when the Sabbath begins, and why we are always on our knees praying. We don't want to burn in hell on Judgment Day with the pagans, non-believing fools and other evildoers. Grandma likes to look good always, she says. There's no excuse for going out on the road any old way. And don't look like nobody own you. Good and decent bride. She has wonderful dresses and suits, and lots of them are shiny. She wears perfume from Avon and high-heeled court shoes to match all of her church hats and handbags. She has lots of handbags. She's short and round, always cleaning the house to perfection. Grandma is the best cook that everybody knows. Her rice and peas, chicken, macaroni, cheese and roast potatoes keep everyone coming back to the house with Tupperware. She bakes, decorates beautiful tiered fruit cakes for all the family in the church weddings and christenings, and she can make flowers out of icing sugar. Any time of the day, Grandma carries extra strong mints around. Sometimes she reads romantic novels. I know, because I've seen them. She's always on a healthy diet and eats tiny amounts of things out of smallest bowls while everyone else is eating dinner. Grandma shows me how to do hospital corners when making the bed, and I just can't get the hang of it. She gets angry, tells me I'm trying her patience. She says, child, get it into your skull. Try not to be useless. Grandad is ever so particular. He's slim and sprightly, salt and pepper hair. Each time he learns a new word, he cross-references it in Oxford Dictionary and records it in his jotter, trying to use it in a sentence. He writes everything in capital lettering of equal size. He washes dishes 3 times a day, without fail, promptly after mealtime. Every morning, he will have me quote English verses that he learned as a schoolboy in Jamaica. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. Don't lean on others, be a man. Stand on a sure foot of your own. Be independent if you can, and cultivate a sound backbone. Are these verses only for boys, Grandad? No, child. It's just that the man was made first. Is that why you call me he sometimes? Yes, child, sometimes we do. Something we do from back at Jamaica. Man was made first, you see. Does God think that men are more important? God doesn't think. God only knows. So are men better than women? Grandad says he doesn't really want to put it like that, but women was made from the rib of man, so, you know. He takes to the bathroom where he spends an hour deliberately washing his face and trimming his beard each night after dinner. His copper shaving kit is gleaming. His routine, precious. Cleanliness is next to godliness, he says. I want to be just like him. He has a place for everything and many wonderful shiny cases, though not trinkets. Trinkets are terrible and decorative. Grandad's cases are definitely not decorative. They are definitely only containers. Grandad has a few stock biblical answers for any question in the world, including there's a time and place for everything under the sun. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. And such is the way of this wicked world. I'm not allowed to venture further than the garden, unless to school on a church mission. Sleepovers are unnecessary and the cinema is terribly sinful. Halloween is nothing but pagan nonsense. Grandad will spit, vexed to heaven. Then he will throw up his hands and say, he doesn't know what this wicked world is coming to. Other things that you definitely do not mention around him are prehistoric beasts or dinosaurs, which the Bible makes no mention of and probably never existed. Anybody, anywhere, who ever says a swear word. Bacon. Films that are not about God. Examples of those who are not God or Jesus or the Holy Spirit, but are good. Ellen G. White, who we learn about at church because she prophesies things about the end of the world and has spiritual visions. The people in the Bible, mostly. Nelson Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the pastor, and family. We have many, many rules. Washing out the bath attentively and with intention. Never forgetting to rinse. Wringing out the towels clockwise, anti-clockwise, then clockwise again. Helping grandma hand wash the cloths in the bath on a Sunday. Drinking bitters to purge the blood. Drinking bush tea to purge the blood. Drinking hot water to purge the blood. Attending prayer meetings to purge the soul. We'll sing a lot of hymns with words like, wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. Thank you for listening to me read the prologue and first few chapters of The Terrible. I would like to leave you with a provocation. So what are some of the ideas that you associate with the elders in your family? And do you take these as truth or do you question them, and why? So thank you so much for listening. You can watch and listen to more stories in the 100 Stories Deep series if you subscribe by the link down below. Thank you.